Okay, well, it's a beautiful day. I'm at the hostel, got this nice background behind me. Um, and it's actually really fantastic. I'm in Germany now. I'm in Munich, München. Um, this is our first day here. Well, we got here yesterday afternoon, but this is our first full day. Got done eating breakfast about an hour ago, and it's a perfect day. It's not humid. It's really not humid in Europe at all, which is fantastic. Well, let's see. I've got a lot to cover, so it's going to be sort of a lengthy video. We'll jump back to Prague first, and then I guess I'll cover Dresden. Prague, we were there 3 days ago. We were in Prague 3 days ago. It's a fantastic city, absolutely gorgeous. The people that we stayed with were really nice. It was sort of funny because we stayed with the son and his wife of a family friend who's a friend of Adam's parents. So it was like 1, 2, 3, like 4th generation connection. So we stayed with them, and they were fantastic people. I'd say like early mid 30s, the two of them. So you know, they're a little closer to our age compared to the other people that we've been staying with. And it was they had 2 dogs. Well, they had 2 dogs when we arrived, and then the one went home with the mother, and the other one stayed with them and with us. And the one that went away reminded me a lot of my brother's dog, because you could with both dogs, my brother's and the one that they had, you can go like this and she'll jump up, and she was wonderful. I've missed pets, you know, because I've got dogs at home, so it was nice to have some dogs. Let's see. Both of them have normal jobs, but they both, well, particularly the guy, but they both are sort of involved. They do fencing, but not in what we think of as fencing, you know, with the white padded suit and the blunted rapier. He does it in sort of the medieval sense, in full padded chain and plate, and either a hand-and-a-half sword or just a one-hand sword and a shield, you know. So both Adam and I got to be dressed up in full battle attire, if you like. It's heavy. It's very heavy. I think it was about 80. What we were wearing was about 80 pounds. And it was sort of, it's the tradition, you know, all of the stuff that we wore was traditional, but there's sort of different styles. There's, you know, you might just wear chainmail and padding if you want to be light and swift, and then there's sort of a compromise between a little bit of plate, but not full plate, you know, so that'll give you a little more protection, but it'll still give you a little more speed. And then there's full plate, which, you know, you're impenetrable, but you're also rather slow. So what we were wearing was about 80 kilos, and it was the compromise between speed and protection. And he had full plate, and I think that was about 120 pounds worth of gear if you had full plate on. So it gives you an idea of how much you're, you know, that's a lot of weight to ride around with and move, especially in hot weather. And it was kind of warm in Prague. We got invited to go to one of his practices, but we went to the wrong place, or we couldn't find where we were supposed to go. We got there a bit later than we were supposed to anyway, so we missed it, and I felt a bit bad about it. But anyway, I got my little checklist here, so I'm trying to sort of stay on track. Prague is absolutely beautiful. It's a big city. There's a lot to see. A lot of old buildings, a lot of old, you know, churches and things. There were a couple there were a couple places where we got to go. There was one tower and then one spire in a church, or cathedral rather, that we got to go up and look, out over everything, and it was beautiful. All of the roofs there are the really sort of bright orange terracotta, so it looks very, dare I say, very European, I guess. It's sort of the white. You look over and all the building sides are white, and then they've got the orange terracotta, and then you've got, cathedrals and spires, here and there, and it's beautiful. We had, we climbed up the same hill twice, because one cathedral was closed the first day we were there. We had 2 full days there, which was nice. And it's quite a climb to get to the top, but the cathedral was amazing. And we got traditional, it wasn't a crepe, it was, I can't think of the name of it, but it's sort of like a cylindrical pastry that's, like a big cylinder, sort of, and then the woman takes a really sweet old woman, or not old, she was actually sort of middle-aged, she was really nice though, takes stuff and lines the inside. It's sort of difficult to eat because you either sort of eat it as a cylinder, or you can sort of crush it and make it flatter, which is what I tried to do. Keyword there is tried. It didn't work very well. I'm trying to think. So much has happened. The second day we were in Prague. We got up early, as we often do, and we went to a little place called Kutna Hora. It's about an hour's train ride away, and it's known for its silver. There are 4 silver mines. I don't remember if they're active or not, but there are 4 silver mines there. I assume they probably are still active, to an extent anyway. But one of the things that it's known for is the Sedlic ossuary, and it's or essentially the Bone Church. I'll try to give sort of a short story. And I'm going to leave out names and whatnot and dates because I can't think of them right now. But if you have time, look it up online. SEDLEC space ossuary, OSSUARY. But there was a church, and it was built. There's a graveyard around it, and I believe it was a monk or a friar or a priest. Someone of the matter, brought back some holy soil from a place that I can't, again, think of. So all of a sudden, this church and the cemetery became holy ground because of the soil that was brought back. And this was during the time where the plague was sweeping through Europe, so there were a lot of people dying. And everyone wanted to be buried at this now holy site. So the cemetery soon just entirely filled up. The ground was completely full of bones, and they were starting to just sort of stack them against the church and whatnot. And then I want to say 10 or 15 or so, 20 years maybe after that all started to happen, they decided to expand the church, which also meant expanding the basement. So they had to dig up a lot of the graves, which I'm sure must have been frowned upon, but for the sake of a church, I guess it's alright, So they had even more bones above ground, so they called in, I think he was a wood carver of some sort. They called in this guy, and they'd said, look, we have all of these bones, do something with them, make them ordered, or, decorate, I don't know what they told him to do, but anyway, he, you go inside this church, and above ground is just sort of a normal church, and then you go down into the basement, and it's sort of a strange feeling. I don't really know how to describe it. You go down the steps, and there are these sort of light or sort of goblet things on the wall, and they're made of bones. You go farther down, and there are sort of garlands hanging from the ceiling. That's like the skull, and then what I assume would be like the what's your thigh bone? I know, the skeletal system, and I can't think of it. You know, it's got the skull, and then like two bones going across, and then another skull, and then two bones going across, and that's these garlands hanging from everywhere. And then there's this massive chandelier that's made of bones, and I think the chandelier actually uses every bone in the body. Obviously some more than others. And then you've got these 4 sort of little rooms, you know, that are gated off with metal bars, and then you just have each inside of these you have massive mounds of just bones. And there's a crest or a seal, you know, like a shield shape, like someone's family crest or whatever. That's made of bones. It's a very I don't think there's anything else like it in the world. And what I saw it. Excuse me. There's a documentary, like I say, sort of my inspiration in part for the vlogs that I'm doing is because Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman did something similar to this on their Long Way Round and Long Way Down sort of documentaries, which I again say you should look up if you haven't heard of them. And they went to this ossuary, and when we were making plans for Europe, I was like, okay, well, you know, where is this place? And I figured out it was right by Prague. So it was actually one of the few places that you know, Adam and I came up with a lot of places sort of together, and we were like, okay, yeah, we need to go here, we need to go here. And his mom was like, oh yeah, well, you have to go here too, you have to see this city, you have to see this city. She kept adding cities that we had to go to, but the ossuary was one of probably like very few things that I came up with on my own, you know, by myself, and was like, look, we have